First item we're going to be talking about on the top 10 that matches the phenomenon that I've seen in the past. I've really seen a lot this week. You accepting an offer from somebody while you're awaiting payment for that offer, the item sells for regular price, or you get another offer. The product's not sold and the item's not off the shelf until money is exchanged. And once it is, my loyalty is whoever paid the bill first and send that product out to them. Welcome back, everybody. I've had a really interesting week, both personally and in the eBay store. I did come across something that I found very interesting, something that I hear a lot of eBay sellers talk about and how it's just a weird coincidence. And I think I might have actually figured it out this week through shopping on eBay for something I commonly source, which we will definitely talk about as we get into the episode. Also, in my personal life, I had a very amazing opportunity present itself this week, and I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that as we get into the show. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into the numbers. This week, we had a gross sales week of $730, which was a net of $365. That was an average gross per sale of $22.12 and an average net per sale of $10.73, which is a little bit lower than normal, but that's okay. Net profit margin per sale stayed at 50% with an average net profit margin per sale of 51%. As you can see, this week was pretty steady all the way throughout. Tuesday was my lowest day at a gross of $67.75, 35 net. But the rest of the week was pretty consistent and steady throughout that, with Monday being the big day, the big highlight of our day, which is funny because that's the first day of where my tiered sales go offline, and that's where I got the most sales this week. So it's just weird when every week is weird what days are going to pop and which days aren't. Going into the top 10 sources by net return, holding the number one spot loud and proud, still sunglasses. Sold a lot of sunglasses this week. Next up, we got a Goodwill store, and holding the number 3 spot, remotes have made a comeback, which is very nice to see. I had a couple weeks there where I only sold like 2 remotes in a matter of 3 weeks, and I was like, what is going on? But it came back. I just figured it was springtime coming out. And then a mixture of thrift stores beyond that. I did not go sourcing this week. I was busy dealing with a lot of stuff personally, but I do have enough inventory to get me through for a little week, especially now that I'm only listing 8 items a day. The total cost of goods sold this week was $74.17. I spent $109 in marketplace fees and $182 on shipping labels. I did continue my new goal of listing 8 items a day, which was a total of 57 for the week, which actually one day it shows that I listed 9. I had an item, a Corvette Museum polo shirt that I did sell, and I packaged it up for shipping, and the next day I went to drop it off at the post office, and as I was walking into the post office, I got a message from the buyer saying he didn't realize he bought the wrong size and could he cancel the order. If he couldn't cancel the order, he was just going to return it to me as soon as he got it. And it was literally as I was walking up the steps of the post office, so I canceled the order real quick. And what I found out is when you already package and ship, and like when you package it up and put a label on it and then you cancel it, it relists it for free, but it creates a whole new listing for it. So that's why one day I have one showing 9, that I listed 9. Had a total of 33 sales for the week. Average time to list something in my store this week was 26 days. Average time to sell something in my store this week was 4 months. I had a 472% return on investment, which was an average return of investment per sale of 802%. Jumping into the top 10, number 10 is this Studio His and Her Double Heart Unity Candle Set. I picked this candle set up at a Salvation Army for $3.88. It sold on eBay for $31 even. That was $21 for the candle set, $10 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $7.67. That provided me a net return of $14.60, which was a 376% return on investment and a 47% net profit margin. Number 9 sale of the week is this BKE Athletic Fit Men's medium pearl snap long sleeve shirt. I picked this pearl snap shirt up for $4.08 at a Salvation Army. It sold on eBay for $28 even, $21 for the shirt, $7 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.21, which provided me a net return of $14.82, which was a 363% return on investment and a 53% net profit margin. Number 8 sale of the week is this vintage Canyon Guide Outfitters men's large Western pearl snap cowboy shirt. Picked this shirt up for $3.69 at a local thrift store. It sold on eBay for $26.98. That was $20.68 for the shirt. $6.30 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.57. That provided me a net return of $15.03, which is a 407% return on investment and a 56% net profit margin. Number 7 sale of the week is the first item we're going to be talking about on the top 10 that matches the phenomenon that I've seen in the past. I've really seen a lot this week. It is this Nike Golf Dry Fit Men's XL green short sleeve polo. I had this polo shirt and I accepted an offer for this shirt for $21 even. And after I accepted the offer, less than 3 minutes later, somebody came in and bought it for full price while the payment was pending for the buyer, the offer accepted buyer, for $22.48. I picked this shirt up for $4.48. It sold on eBay for $29.73. That was $22.48 for the shirt and $7.25 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $5.62. Which provided me a net return of $15.55, which was a 347% return on investment and a 52% net profit margin. Now, this weird occurrence of accepting an offer and it selling for full price while that payment is awaiting payment is happening, this has happened to me like 5 or 6 times throughout my first year of selling. But then this week, it happened with 4 different items in this week alone, which really had me wondering what was going on. But we'll talk about that as we get further on in the episode. Number 6 sale of the week is an item I've been holding on to for a long time. It's this vintage Rival Isomatic Electric Ice Crusher. I picked this item up for $1 at a garage sale. It sold on eBay for $31. That was $16 for the ice crusher, $15 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $10.17. That provided me a net return of $15.74, which was a 1,574% return on investment and a 51% net profit margin. And the number 5 sale of the week is this Polo Ralph Lauren Men's Large Classic Fit Oxford dress shirt. I picked this shirt up from a Goodwill for $3.84. It sold on eBay for $30 even. That was $21 for the shirt, $9 even for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $6.25. That provided me a net return of $16.08, which was a 419% return on investment and a 54% net profit margin. Number 4 sale of the week. Sunglasses making the top 10 and a pretty high spot on the top 10. New with tags, Foster's Grant, Ironman, Iron Flex, IF 2003 Gray. Picked these sunglasses up for $1.12 on eBay. They sold on eBay for $27.73. That's $21.98 for the sunglasses, $5.75 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $4.33, which provided me a net return of $18.16, which was a 1,621% return on investment and a 65% net profit margin. Number 2 sale of the week is the second item that I accepted an offer on, and it sold for full price within 5 minutes of accepting that offer. It is this Nike Golf Men's Large Mobile One Dry Fit Polo shirt. I picked this polo shirt up at a St. Vincent's for $2.68. It sold on eBay for $32.08. That was $24.98 for the shirt, $7.10 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.31. That provided me a net return of $18.69, which was a 697% return on investment and a 58% net profit margin. Number 2 sale of the week. Now this one is an offer. I accepted an offer, and then it didn't sell for full price while it was awaiting a payment. Somebody else sent me another offer which was higher than the one I accepted, and I accepted that one at the time. So then I had 2 offers accepted, which meant the first person to pay would get the shirt. And it ended up selling to the second person who made me the higher offer. It is this Tommy Bahama short sleeve textured silk Hawaiian men's shirt. in size 2XL. I picked this shirt up from a Goodwill for $3.09. It sold on eBay for $32.15, which was $25 for the shirt, $7.15 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.49. That provided me a net return of $19.26, which was a 623% return on investment and a 60% net profit margin. And the number one sale of the week is this Magnavox NF102UD remote control. I picked this remote up on eBay for $1.27. It sold on eBay for $29.73, which was $23.98 for the remote and $5.75 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $4.33, which provided me a net return of $19.70, which was a 1,551% return on investment and a 66% net profit margin. And that concludes our top 10 sales of the week, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it of the phenomenon of you accepting an offer from somebody. While you're awaiting payment for that offer, the item sells for regular price, or you get another offer which is a higher offer than the one you already accepted. You accepted that one and it cashes out. Like I said, this has probably happened to me 6 times over the last year, and I've heard other resellers talk about it and say, yeah, it's just one of those weird coincidences, and don't know if like eBay's just boosting the algorithm of that post once there's a negotiation process started, which I do think is true. However, I think I figured out this phenomenon this week on my own. I don't know if anybody's ever talked about this before, but this happened to me for the first time, and I think I've unlocked the key on why this phenomenon happens. So, as most of you know, I sell sunglasses and remotes, and all my sunglasses and remotes I source in bulk on eBay. And this week I was looking around for remote controls just to re-up. I still have a lot of remote controls. I think this box right here is filled with nothing but remote controls, and then I have another box down here, but I'm always looking for a good deal on remote controls. My rule on remote controls is I want to buy them for $1 a remote, as close as possible, and I will not go over $1.25 per remote. After that, it just doesn't make any financial sense, considering you're never going to get remotes in bulk that are clean, so you're going to have to do all the cleaning. You're the one who has to do all the testing, and when you buy them in bulk, a good majority of them are probably not going to work, or they've got inner parts that are rusted and rotted, so you got to make sure you get it at that low cost of goods to make it a profitable venture. Anyway, I'm shopping for lots of remotes, as I commonly do, and I did find a remote lot that interests me. I saw a couple in there that were really interesting. However, the price per remote in this bulk lot was astronomical. However, I did notice the buyer had on accepting offers. And I know I have accepting offers on all my posts, and I mean it. I'm willing to negotiate. So I start negotiating with the seller of a remote lot, and me and him just couldn't come to an agreement. We couldn't come to a price that was fair, and that I thought was fair, which is understandable. I'm not crying. I'm not upset. I'm not mad about it. I move on and I go find something else. So the negotiations end, and I don't think about it for a couple days. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting there, and my phone goes off, and it's the same tone like when you get a message from a seller. It's that tone. And I look, and the notification on my iPhone reads, "This item that you looked at, the seller has accepted an offer for this amount. Act now and buy this item at full price." Literally, that was the message. And I should have screenshot it. I did not screenshot it, but I tapped it, and it brought me right to the listing and gave me the ability to buy it now. And I think that's exactly what happens. I don't think it's an uncommon occurrence. I think if you're interested in an item, you click on it multiple times, or you hit the watch button on it, or you enter negotiations that are failed negotiations, and later on that seller accepts an offer from somebody else, they push a notification like, hey, this item basically sold and an offer was accepted. This is your chance to snake it and steal it if you really want it. So I think that's the answer of where that phenomenon comes from. And I didn't know that. Maybe this is common knowledge and a lot of people do know this, but that was something I learned this week. If it ever happens to me again, I will definitely screenshot the message to where I can show you guys on screen what I got. But I was absolutely dumbfounded, because then it all made sense to me why this was happening to me this week and why we all have had this happen to us and we've never understood why we've had this happen to us is because it's eBay's literally pushing out notifications to try to up the number of sales, which inherently is not a bad thing. I mean, that works out for eBay and it works out for you as the seller, that they're trying to push your product to have it sell for a higher price. Now, I've heard some arguments of when like trying to research this where people say it's kind of wrong that once you've accepted a negotiation and it sells for a higher price, you as the seller have no control over that. If the person who the offer was accepted for didn't have automatic payment set up and that they had to go in and pay later and somebody was able to buy it in the meantime, to me that's fair game, and I don't think that's anything negative on the seller whatsoever. Now I can see the argument of accepting, like in my case on one of the shirts, I accepted an offer for $22, and while I was awaiting payment, somebody came in and offered me $25, and I accepted that. And I can understand an argument of saying, well, you already accepted one offer, it's bad practice to accept another. My philosophy is on it, it's not your item until you pay for it. And if you don't trust eBay enough to have automatic payments set up for when you want to win an auction or you want to win a negotiation, that kind of falls on you. The product's not sold and the item's not off the shelf until money is exchanged. And once it is, my loyalty is whoever paid the bill first and send that product out to them. Curious to know your thoughts and opinion on it. So leave a comment down below if you guys think, what you guys think about the whole scenario in general. Did you guys know that eBay did this, that they pushed a notification to other interested buyers when an offer was accepted? Because I most certainly did not know that until this week. And I'm just curious to hear all of your thoughts. So go ahead and leave a comment down below. This week, I mean, college, for personal life, college is on cruise control. One big thing that did happen to me this week, last Sunday after putting the video out, I received a call from a family member, and they had a friend who was selling a mobile home for a really, really cheap price. And it was a nice shaped mobile home, older model, but it's a mobile home, and I live in a camper currently, so this piqued my interest quite a bit. And, got really excited and looking into everything, and then I tried to call my bank to secure a loan for it. And if you guys didn't know, in America it is absolutely impossible to get a loan to buy a mobile home. Like, no bank at all will finance a mobile home. So I've got all excited all this week. I went and looked at it. It's a beautiful mobile home, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to secure financing for it. If I could, I would get it in a heartbeat, because I want to get Boots and Bandit out of living in a camper, and I would like to have them have a lot more bigger space internally, and it would make my bills a lot cheaper, like as far as heating and cooling and all that goes. But right now, don't have the finances to make it happen. I do have a healthy savings, but not enough to buy a mobile home out of pocket, and I can't get a loan for it. I'm still going down other avenues for financing. We'll see how that plays out, but hopefully it does work out, and you guys will get to watch these episodes where I moved out of a camper and I actually have a real life home to live in that's well insulated and has a lot more space to it. A full-size kitchen would be really nice. And if that happens, like a quarter of my garage is like filled up with home stuff, like a washer, dryer, stove, refrigerator, beds, and all that. And if I can move that out of my garage, it will expand and it will turn my eBay business into a giant warehouse, which that would be cool too. There's so many aspects of this that I really hope play out. But if it doesn't work out, hey, that's life. You don't always get what you want. Sometimes you have to keep saving and getting by and to get what you truly want. So hopefully I get to report to you guys that I might have a full-fledged home here in a little bit if I can secure the financing, but maybe not. But that's what's going on in my life. Just wanted to keep you guys updated. I don't have anything other than that. If you are new here and you enjoyed the content, a subscribe would be greatly appreciated, and hitting the like button if you did like the content is always appreciated because it helps me in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope all of you guys have been seeing great sales. I don't know, like this year, maybe I'm just like in a honeymoon period, but even though it's an ups and downs week to week, I feel like 2025 has been phenomenal for me in sales. I'm consistently getting over $300 net sales every single week, and I'm very happy with the trajectory and everything is going. And it almost seems like I can predict how the week's going to go just by Sunday alone. I'm predicting this week I'm having right now is a slower week, because right now we're reaching closer to afternoon on a Sunday, and I haven't gotten one sale yet on Sunday. So that usually tells me it's going to be a slower week, but we'll see how it plays out. As you can see, we did the great spring sacrifice on Boots. Where you at, Boots? We did her haircut. She's in the middle of a haircut right now. She's the worst one to give a haircut to because she's so jumpy. So I started it with trimmers, and then I had to switch to scissors just because that's easier to do with her. And then Bandit had a haircut a couple weeks ago, but he's probably going to get a new one coming up in this week just now that the snow's pretty much gone and the weather's pretty much warming up, which is absolutely nice. I've been spending a lot more time out in the garage. I really want to do a deep clean of the eBay workspace. As you can see, there's a whole winter season of me just coming out here to do whatever work I have to do, whether it's cleaning, packaging, or whatever, and just being so cold where I don't want to deal with it. I want to go through, reorganize the inventory, and I'm pretty happy now with the inventory process I got in place. Also, we are coming up. We are less than 3 weeks away from my 1-year anniversary of losing my job and starting this eBay journey. I will do a special episode for my 1-year anniversary where we talk about the whole year. We'll do like a top 5 sales, top 5 loser sales, and then I'll probably give out like my top 10 pieces of advice if you're thinking about getting into eBay reselling as a person who has no experience in it before, and just giving you some of my tips and advice of things I've learned over the past year, which has been a wild ride. And it is crazy to think that my whole adult life, working in government and corporate jobs, and then losing my job last May, and making the rash decision of, what, I'm not going to fill out another application. I'm not going to go through the process of working 40 hours a week and punching a time clock for somebody else. It is crazy to think that this little thing I'm doing, selling stuff on eBay, has paid my bills successfully for the last year while I've been going to college and not having to work 40 hours a week for somebody else. It truly has been an exciting and awesome year, and a big reason as to the why I've been able to make this work and make this happen is because of this YouTube channel and all of you viewers who watch me every day. In less than a year, we have accumulated over 2,000 subscribers. We've gotten monetized. I think we've made a total of over $400 on this YouTube channel alone. And none of that happens without you, the viewer, watching this show. I have been offered paid promotions on this to the tunes of thousands of dollars for a 30-second commercial. I've never accepted one because I didn't believe in the product that it was selling, but that doesn't happen without you guys pressing the subscribe button and watching the videos over and over. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here. I hope I have provided value in your life. I hope I continue to provide value in your life. And as always, thank you so much. Again, I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys have a great week to come. And remember, no matter what happens, I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a great week, everybody.